Thank you, Chair, and good morning, everyone. The agenda for today's proceedings indicates an address by the Honorable Minister of Energy and Energy Affairs of Trinidad and Tobago, Senator the Honorable Kevin Ramnarine. Let me therefore, first of all, extend a sincere apologies on behalf of the Honorable Minister, who had intended to be here, but due to pressing engagements in Trinidad and Tobago, he's unable to join us. He is very passionate about speaking engagements, particularly in international fora, as the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago seeks to step overseas and expand our energy business into other jurisdictions. But he wishes us success and in our deliberations today, and he is expecting that the feedback from today's proceedings, and of course we're here for the week, would be positive in terms of the impact on our energy sector. So that affords me the opportunity today to address you and to give you a little flavor of what's happening in Trinidad and Tobago. At last year's Congress, the former Minister of Energy and Energy Affairs, Senator the Honorable Caroline Sipasad-Bechan, addressed this forum, and she spoke a bit about some of the ongoing initiatives in Trinidad and Tobago. So in her address, she gave you an insight into some of our plans. So today, I will try to give an update of sorts in terms of what's been happening, give an account in terms of the performance with respect to some of those objectives, and give you an insight into some of the stuff that we have ongoing currently. The critical among the issues that were raised last year were our initiatives to encourage deep water exploration, our initiatives aimed at increasing oil production from our marginal and mature fields, our country's future direction in terms of extracting value from our natural gas-based sector, and finally, initiatives in respect of energy efficiency and alternative energy. Many of you in the audience may no doubt be familiar with our twin island republic, Trinidad and Tobago, and our position as somewhat of an elder statesman in the oil and gas business. We've been in the business for over 100 years. In fact, 2 years ago, we celebrated 100 years in the business. We have been in the gas business for over 50 years, and in fact, this year, we also celebrate 50 years as an independent nation. On the 31st of August, our Golden Jubilee will be celebrated when we shook off the shackles of colonialism and became an independent nation and took the decision to forge our own destiny, a lot of which was grounded in the energy sector. And our prosperity that has redounded since that time is in large measure due to the efforts of our citizens in forging the way ahead, in determining the policy direction, and in fact executing projects on a world scale and at a level that in fact has resulted in the benefits that we expect coming back to Trinidad and Tobago. At various junctures in our history, however, the government has found it necessary to assess our progress, to benchmark our performance, and comprehensively review the country's energy policy initiatives. And of course, in our international competitiveness is very key to that. The dynamism of the industry makes this an absolute imperative. The world of 1962, 50 years ago, is of course not the world of 2012. And most of the systems and technology innovations in 1962 have little or limited relevance to the conduct of business in 2012. However, we believe that the success in our energy sector is rooted in a set of core principles and values that we have adopted and has transcended the 50 years. Some of these values include respect for the rule of law, the sanctity of contracts, collaboration and cooperation with IOCs, NOCs, and with other governments, and energy-producing communities and countries. And significant, the sustained investment in education and training of our nationals. So 50 years later, we are faced with a similar situation where we are in a time of change. Our industry is now typified by aging infrastructure, maturing oil and gas fields, competition for international capital, competition for time, talent, and technology, and competition from non-conventional energy sources. Consistent with the government's principle of good governance, the country's energy policy is being reviewed and developed and redefined with full participation of all stakeholders, and of course, the general population included. We consider this exercise to be of critical importance to the future growth and development of our energy sector, which is heavily dependent. It contributes significantly to the national economy. The importance of this exercise is, of course, highlighted by the fact that Trinidad and Tobago's energy sector contributes about 52% of government revenues, 83% of our export earnings, and 36% of our gross domestic product. This effect, of course, defines the current challenge that we face as a nation. How do we diversify and expand energy production, increase energy efficiency, reduce environmental impacts while maintaining economic growth? And of course, ensuring that prosperity goes about in a manner that promotes sustainable development. I'll first of all talk about initiatives to attract deep water exploration and investment in that area. Increasing our oil and gas reserve base is critical to our present and medium-term prosperity as a country. Measures to encourage and sustain oil and gas exploration activities are where our energy policy initiatives begin. Statisticians have estimated that we have produced over the last 100 years approximately 3.5 billion barrels of oil and gas equivalent. Reserve replacement is therefore key to our continued growth. The country's land and shallow water known hydrocarbon reserve base is mature and well developed. However, approximately 70% of the acreage under our jurisdiction lies in our deep water province, which is acreage in water depths greater than 400 meters. Exploration activity in these areas is an expensive and risky business, and global competitiveness has been intense, even now more so as a result of new discoveries worldwide in previously unknown oil and gas provinces. Our policy on this issue has been to consistently introduce and review strategic measures to maximize our country's potential to attract investment to, and of course, the exploration activities and increase our global competitiveness. This has been involved a selective application of advanced technology to improve the quality of our data sets, coupled with an aggressive exploration effort supported by a combination of regular bid rounds and an effective and competitive fiscal, regulatory, and administrative framework. Our successfully executed 2010-2011 shallow, average water, and deep water bid rounds, and our recently launched 2012 deep water bid round epitomizes our present and future policy in this area. Some of you may recall that the former energy minister last year gave some indication of the initiatives ongoing at that time. In this regard, I'm pleased to report that efforts arising out of the 2010 and 2011 average shallow and deep water round have resulted in the execution of as many as 7 production sharing contracts, 3 in shallow water, 2 in average water, and 2 in deep water. The execution of these PSCs have resulted in committed minimum work obligations over the next 5 years, involving the acquisition of in excess of 7,000 square kilometers of 3D seismic, the drilling of as many as 8 wells, and committed expenditure to the tune of US $400 million in the obligatory phase, with an additional $500 million in optional phases. The resource potential of these blocks has been conservatively estimated to be in the range of 10 to 15 TCF of gas and of the order of 1 billion barrels of oil. So in terms of reinforcing and replenishing the resource base, these efforts will go a long way to ensure that we have a sustainable base for planning for the future. Further, the 2012 bid round was publicly launched on April 23rd. The areas being offered, I don't know if you can put up the map, include 6 blocks in the deep water area, marked there. On average, these blocks each exceed 100,000 hectares and are located in water depths ranging from 600 to 1,500 meters. The acreage offers a mix of hydrocarbon play types and production potential. So that's that map of it. The bid round also has the benefit of a more attractive and fiscal and cost recovery provisions, and has been specifically introduced to support deepwater activity. In addition, the data package includes additional reprocessed seismic data, as well as a comprehensive deepwater geotechnical study. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to take the opportunity to inform you that our promotional team is present at the conference to provide you, all of those of you who are interested in any one of those blocks, with the details as necessary. In addition to the officers of the Ministry of Energy and Energy Affairs, our team includes the chairmen and CEOs of our key energy sector state-owned companies, in order to afford our stakeholders the opportunity to understand and explore any and all areas of potential interest in our energy sector along the entire value chain. The international response to our deepwater bid round has been extremely positive to date, and we will continue to vigorously promote and market this potential opportunity internationally. The second item I'd like to treat with is strategies for increasing oil production from marginal and mature fields. Increased exploration activity is the key to reserve replacement, which ultimately translates into an increase in oil and gas development activities. We therefore consider it as important, and measures are put in place to encourage development programs and create opportunities for enhancing the production, particularly on land and in marine areas and in mature and marginal fields. The promotion of effective management strategies for existing oil fields, as well as those coming on stream to ensure extended field life, is also critical to ensuring long-term optimal levels of increased oil production. In addition, in order to further encourage developmental activity, similar to the approach adopted for the exploration drive, we are undertaking a continuous review of the fiscal regime to ensure that our terms are attractive and competitive. Finally, sustainable development of our heavy oil reserves is also key to the future increased levels of oil production. Trinidad and Tobago has been commercially producing oil since 1908, and to date has produced approximately 3.5 billion barrels of oil, particularly onshore, on land, and in shallow marine areas. While our oil fields in the marine areas have had the benefit of the application of some of the latest technologies which have been developed over time, the land fields have not received the attention of similar technologies. 3D seismic technology has rejuvenated mature fields all over the world, and a major 300 square kilometer 3D survey was run for the very first time onshore in the producing fields in Trinidad and Tobago earlier this year. The survey covered an area which has produced over 1 billion barrels of primary oil to date from old technology, and would facilitate detailed reservoir characteristics and characterization studies of the deltaic reservoirs in these mature fields. The data is currently being processed and interpreted and can result in an intense developmental drilling program which has the potential to arrest the decline of these old oil fields. In addition, the survey has the potential to identify exploration opportunities for new areas and for deeper potential on oil trends and pools underlying these existing mature fields. And this can reverse the trend in the decline of oil production onshore. Landfills are a significant part of the oil-producing acreage in Trinidad, and often a major opportunity to increase oil production in Trinidad through the application of state-of-the-art technology can be found in these areas. Like mature oil fields all over the world, which have not had the benefit of the state-of-the-art technology, the oil fields in Trinidad display certain characteristics. There are a large number of stripper wells. There are a large number of wells shut in because of the economics. There's aging infrastructure which requires regular maintenance, and oil production has been declining over the last few years. Like the mature fields, a significant part of the mature underdeveloped acreage adjacent to and on trend with the mature fields on land have not had the benefit of the current technology, so we expect that when we interpret this 3D seismic, additional opportunities will emerge. In addition to maximizing the production from mature fields through the application of these technologies, we have taken the opportunity to ensure that we include acreage, and we intend later this year, during the fourth quarter, to have another bid round onshore, which will involve acreage which has had the benefit of this 3D seismic technology in some of these mature areas, both shallow and deep. It is noteworthy that to date, no horizontal or multilateral wells have been drilled on land in Trinidad, and the integration of the 3D data with a large number of wells over the acreage is likely to facilitate the drilling of several horizontal and multilateral wells. The plan is to continue this 3D seismic coverage over all the major oil fields on land and apply this state-of-the-art technology to the data and generate additional opportunities onshore. With respect to mature marine acreage, the 3D data over some of the major fields in the Gulf of Paria over 10 years old, and the new state-of-the-art 3D surveys will be acquired over these fields. These surveys will facilitate a depth of technical analysis and evaluation which was not possible with the old data, and which can lead to several exploration and development opportunities. In addition to the application of this technology, the development of these fields require injection of significant capital. And in this regard, partnerships with appropriate small and medium sized companies will be required in order to support this effort. Of related interest is the fact that some experts are also of the view that an opportunity for the development of shale oil exists in Trinidad in the Upper Cretaceous Naparima Hill Formation, which is the source rock for all the oil produced in Trinidad. This formation is equivalent to the La Luna Formation in eastern Venezuela and is one of the best source rocks in the world on the basis of geochemical analysis. The Naparima Hill Formation is a hard, brittle, heavily fractured argillite, which has tested non-commercial oil, gas, and condensate in a few wells to date. The issue of shale oil in the Naparima Hill Formation has not been addressed to date in Trinidad, and initiatives will be taken to attract the appropriate technology and investment for this opportunity. Finally, it is estimated that over 100 billion barrels of heavy oil resources exist in the Soldado field in the Gulf of Paria. The Ministry of Energy and Energy Affairs, in conjunction with the state-owned oil company Petrotrin, will be addressing the issue of the development of these resources. We are looking at the fiscal regime that may be required to support and incentivize the exploration for heavy oil. I now turn to the downstream gas industry and the natural gas value chain. Development of the economy in Trinidad and Tobago was facilitated in large measure through the exploitation of our natural gas resources. Specifically, crude oil was the hydrocarbon exploited in the early stages, but later on, natural gas came into prominence with the development of our petrochemical gas-based industries at Point Lisas. Trinidad and Tobago has been utilizing natural gas as a feedstock for petrochemicals since 1959 with the commissioning of the Federation Chemicals plant, and we have expanded our use of gas and have developed a world-scale petrochemical complex at Point Lisas where we produce ammonia, methanol, and use gas for the reduction of iron ore to produce steel and wire rods. We also produce significant natural gas liquids by extracting these liquids from the natural gas. The success of these industries depend heavily on the government's investment, and of course, in the early days, there was heavy investment in infrastructure, in roadways, in marine facilities, in water supply, electricity, and gas transportation systems. In addition, and quite significant, there was the deliberate strategy taken to invest in education and training. This remains the case today, and as we look to further develop and grow our downstream industry, these will be some of the strategies that we continue to employ. The petrochemical industry in Trinidad and Tobago today comprises mainly ammonia and methanol, and small levels of downstream production of urea, melamine, and urea ammonium nitrate. Other gas-based industries include iron and steel, and Trinidad is a major producer of ammonia, methanol, and steel. The natural gas subsector is critical to our economic growth and industrial development. This has been the dominant feature of our energy landscape for over the last 2 to 3 decades. The structure of the natural gas industry and the gas-based industries must, however, be kept relevant to the economic environment and the challenges of the day. And we need to adapt and adjust our strategies to ensure that we extract maximum value from utilization of the gas in Trinidad and Tobago. These strategies involve going further down the value chain, ensuring that there is maximization of value creation in country by the production of value-added products and the marketing of these products, utilization and linking these products to our manufacturing sector. Recognizing the significant advantages of going further downstream, the government has adopted a policy position that approval for primary products would only move forward if made in tandem with linkages to the downstream sector. Consequently, the government of Trinidad and Tobago supports and encourages the future gas-based projects that includes these linkages to higher valued products. Such products like UAN and melamine are the start of this process, and we are currently in negotiations with an international consortium to progress the further development of these downstream industries by way of polyolefins and petrochemicals. Trinidad and Tobago is, in a sense, at the crossroads of making policy decisions for optimizing natural gas by utilizing gas throughout the natural gas value chain, and our energy policy addresses this by seeking to diversify our product mix and move further downstream for value creation. This is just the beginning, and the opportunities for diversification we expect to expand and grow as we push further down the value chain and invite investment from a variety of stakeholders. Tied with all of the above is the country's combined drive to attract foreign investment in our energy sector. Strategic partnering, fair treatment, access to technology and expertise would continue to be major drivers in our thrust to attract foreign direct investment to the energy sector. This is to ensure that we progress side by side with the implementation of measures to encourage and support local equity participation in the energy sector. And our energy policy will continue to address the challenges faced by our local energy sector from time to time in the context of a well-managed local content and participation policy. I finally turn to the area of energy efficiency and renewable energy. The Ministry of Energy recently launched an energy efficiency and renewable energy public awareness campaign. The campaign aims to change the mindset and increase awareness of the average citizen to the benefits of using energy more efficiently and effectively and reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Energy efficiency and conservation are major challenges we face as a country, and measures to address this are necessary at the level of the domestic consumers. We often make mention of the fact that our oil and gas resources are finite and depleting. However, our relatively low and subsidized energy prices, while supporting a better quality of life for our citizens and making our commercial and industrial sector highly competitive, has led to a culture of wastage and inefficiency. This is an area of great concern to the government, and therefore we are taking steps to reduce energy demand through increased conservation and energy efficiency. Apart from the savings which can accrue from such measures and the opportunity for earning additional foreign exchange through export of additional volumes of energy products, we believe that saving, of course, is just, it's good sense, it's good practice, and of course, it has a positive effect on the environment. The provision of fiscal incentives to support energy savings and energy programs aimed at improving energy efficiency has been introduced in the budget by the government, and in fact, we have set up a structure for encouraging, for auditing, and for ensuring that the incentives which we have rolled out are accessed by stakeholders to the benefit of the nation. In conclusion, therefore, ladies and gentlemen, the government of Trinidad and Tobago is committed to use its natural resources, which the country has been endowed, for the benefit of the people in a manner consistent with best practice in transparency, accountability, good governance, dignity, and respect. Our economy is an open one, and we embrace competition and cooperation from all nations, and of course, armed collaboration with all companies and all stakeholders. As a country, we often attribute our success to our continued high respect for the rule of law, ethical business practice, the sanctity of contracts, intellectual property rights, and judicial independence. In this regard, we remain committed to these ideals and international best practice as articulated by the Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative. At the same time, we are also developing policies and devising strategies to take our energy sector global. And these policies would incorporate not only our state-owned energy companies, but our local energy and private energy sector companies and service companies who are already taking the lead to seeking out business opportunities abroad for the export of their energy services. So let me conclude my remarks by again stating that Trinidad and Tobago is open for business, both at home and abroad, and we look forward to progressing all opportunities for partnering with you, and as we seek to further develop our energy sector for the benefit of our people. I thank you, and I'll take any questions if you have them.